Welcome to the Bible reading journey, where we are traveling from Genesis to Revelation in a year. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're just joining us, welcome to the journey. And just jump in where we are because it's never too late to start. Lighthouse Ministry is happy to be traveling this road with you. Today we are on day number 101 of the Bible reading journey. And today's reading itinerary is the book of 2 Kings, chapters 13 through 17. You might want to pause here and first dive into today's reading for yourself. Then join us back here for thoughts about today's journey. Today's journey is titled Ruin of Israel. As usual, in your text notes, there's an outline of the book of 2 Kings to guide us on our journey. We are in section 2B of the outline. And section 3 of the outline is an additional reference list of the kings from the books of Samuel and Kings. In today's reading, the downward spiral of Israel seems to pick up speed. Our heads spin as we read about 9 more kings of Israel and 5 more kings of Judah. In chapter 13 through 16, we see the kings rotate in and out like a game of musical chairs, except it is no game. It includes assassinations, anarchy, and abandonment of their Lord God. We conclude today's reading in chapter 17 with a sad recap of the state of the nation of Israel. They are conquered and exiled to Assyria, and we read in detail why this happened in chapter 17, verses 7 through 23. And 35 through 39. Think of how many times we have read that the kings followed in the ways, good or bad, of their family or friend. The very first king of the divided nation of Israel is a major case in point. Jeroboam is mentioned 10 times in today's reading as one that people followed his example and continued the sins that he had led Israel to commit. Chapter 13, verse 2, 6, 11, chapter 14, verse 24, chapter 15, verse 9, 18, 24, and 28. The final reference to Jeroboam's influence that we read today is from chapter 17, verses 21 through 23. But Jeroboam drew Israel away from following the Lord and made them commit a great sin. And the people of Israel persisted in all the evil ways of Jeroboam. They did not turn from these sins until the Lord finally swept them away from his presence, just as all his prophets had warned. So Israel was exiled from their land to Assyria. And along those lines comes our thought of the day and our challenge of the day. The thought of the day is along the lines of a warning from 1 Corinthians 15:33. This is the NASB translation. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. Our challenge of the day is in the line of encouragement, of being not only avoiding the bad examples, but being a good one. And this comes from Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. text notes contain information on how to find us on YouTube, Facebook, and email. Happy travels today. See you next time. This is Lisa at Lighthouse. God bless.